That's good enough for government work. Whether you'd like to admit it or not, you're becoming more like your dad every day. And here are just a few ways you can tell if you've transformed into a dad yourself. Have you found yourself bragging to your buddies about how inexpensive you were able to score your favorite tool or piece of gear? Does the idea of a 10-in-1 or a 2-in-1 item that has multiple capabilities in that one tool get you excited? And do you find yourself connecting with things that don't require a lot of maintenance? And what about your footwear and apparel? Have you stopped caring about what's new and flashy and instead prefer something that's comfortable, classic, and goes with just about everything? And more, do you find yourself saying, oh, don't worry, I have something that can fix that? And of course, are you discovering that you don't really like to read owner's manuals and you prefer things that are straightforward, simplistic, and not overcomplicated to use? If these resonate with you, congratulations. You've arrived and you have a dad mentality. Obviously it helps if you have kids, but I know plenty of people that have that type of mindset regardless if they have children or not. And so with this criteria in mind, ooh, that's a good cup of joe. I figured I would share with you my dad list. Pieces of gear and equipment that any dad would absolutely see value in and get a lot of use out of. So with Father's Day right around the corner, I figured this would just be a ton of fun, and I want to invite you along for the ride. It's gonna be a blast. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Aaron, this is Gideonstactical. Let's dive in and talk some gear. So I wanted to kick things off with a tool that just checks so many of the boxes that myself as a dad look for. And it's this little bad boy right here, the Fiskars X13 lightweight hatchet. Now this is what gets me really excited about this Finnish-made hatchet. It weighs under a pound, and as I get older, cutting down on some weight always helps in the pack. So it's packable, but I wasn't really expecting it at that weight to compete with larger hatchets and axes, but this easily holds its own compared to its bigger brother, the X7, being able to split much better than I suspected, and because of its lightweight capability, very precise in its chopping power. But add to that, it's very low maintenance. How many of us dads have let our kids use tools, and then they don't put it away right, and then it ruins the tool or doesn't function the way it should? Because of the integrated head and polymer handle, on more than one occasion, I've come out days after my children have used this, and it's sitting in the stump, it's been rained on, it's had the sun baking on it, and it does not affect the capability and cause issues in the performance, meaning that it lowers my stress level as a dad. And of course, every dad loves that multi-functionality and a little bit of a party trick now and again. This little cutout helps with balance and weight, but also acts as a bottle cap opener so that you can pop that cool beverage after your hard splitting tasks. And finally, you can brag to your buddies about how cheap this tool is. When I bought it, it was right around 30 bucks. Now, just like your dad, I'm sure on more than one occasion, you've misplaced your 10mm socket for your ratchet set. But what about having a pocket ratchet at the ready? This is a Klein mini ratchet. They've had it for a while. I've used it in my kits for quite some time, but they recently updated it with a little adapter sleeve right here that pops off, but it holds a flat head, a Phillips head, a square bit, and an adapter for those smaller sockets. And when I first bought the Ratchet a few years back, I thought it was kind of a gimmick and I'd rarely use it, but I've found myself fixing my AC unit and getting into really tight, narrow spots where my ratchet set would have a difficult time. And on more than one occasion, it saved my butt under the hood of my vehicles when I've had to do basic maintenance. Because I know we all have some choice words for those tight spots in the engine compartment. And this little guy makes that experience a little less frustrating. And I do just want to take a moment to thank my dad, who has been there my entire life, loved me, supported me and my family, showed me what it means to be a good, godly man and to be a provider and a father. And I'm so glad to still have a great relationship with him. He shared his love of the great outdoors with me and is a big reason why Gideonstactical even exists, because without him sharing that with me, I wouldn't be able to share that with you. So just quick shout out to my dad and all the fathers out there. Now, I think why we dads like to fix things is because we want to help our loved ones, and we like to see tools and equipment work the way they were intended at their peak efficiency. Well, the sponsor of today's video was created to help keep that idea alive and well. Work sharp tools. And now through Father's Day, spend $150 at worksharptools.com and you'll get the dad kit. Grill and steaks not included. Now, it was over a decade ago that I bought my first WorkSharp guided field sharpener. And in that time, I have used it to resharpen and hone more tools than I can count. But recently, they just released the elite version of that field sharpener, adding in the carrying case 2 extra diamond plates, now a medium 400 grit and an extra fine 800 grit, while still having the coarse 220 grit and 600 grit diamond plates and all of the extras you know from this system, including a fine and coarse rotating ceramic rod, plus grooves on the ceramic rod for your fishing hooks, mini rod for your serrated blades, and of course you got to finish those blades off with a leather strop. And when you remove the magnetized plates, you've got broad head wrenches as well. And of course, that's just the tip of the iceberg. With several different powered belt sharpeners and benchtop precision adjust sharpeners, means that you're gonna be able to release your inner dad and take care of any edge tool that needs to be fixed and maintained for optimal efficiency. And of course, we can't forget about WorkSharp's pocket knives, with the RMX series coming to you in a push-button manual format, but comes with all the tools and equipment you need to turn those knives into a push-button auto on the fly. Plus, the recent introduction of their new Madrone using integral aluminum handles and M390 steel with a clip point with multiple different color options, and still carrying over that push-button manual or on-the-fly swap to the push-button auto feature, means that it scratches that 2-in-1 itch that us dads like to have in our tools. And there's just so much more. So I'll have a link popping up. It's in the description box below as well, over to the WorkSharp site, so you can check out all the different sharpeners and pocket knife options that are available, and make sure you're the world's sharpest dad. Now, if you watch the channel, you're probably a little bit of an outdoorsy dad like myself, and it can be a nightmare with a family trying to pick out different backpacks to go out on those hikes. And oh, what does mom use, and what do the kids use, and what do you use? And before you know, you got all these different packs and you're trying to dial it in. Oh, this one doesn't fit me right. Oh, I don't like this one's made for the guys, you know, whatever. And us dads do not like whiners, right? So to keep it simple, one of the best day packs that I have found, that I just bought for the whole, how many dads would sit there and say, I just want to put one pack at how many people are in my family and everyone's going to have a good pack and no one's going to be complaining? It's the Gregory Nano 20. I have 3 of these now that I've purchased, and just got one for Mrs. GT so that the boys could have it. And I use different stuff because I'm carrying, you know, camera gear and all that stuff. But if I was just going for day hikes and I didn't run a YouTube channel, that would be the straightforward, under $100, just gets it done. Has water bottle pockets, has organization, has belt and sternum straps, has bladder, you know, adaptations if you want to run a hydration bladder. It's got just everything you need. No craziness, but all of the capability that you look for in a day pack, with, I believe, the right volume that works for my 8-year-old son all the way up through my wife, and I have used many times when I need it. Probably the best part, they have a lot of color combinations to choose from, more on the effeminate side for the ladies in your life, and on the more masculine side for yourself and for your boys. Now, most dads probably have the Milwaukee Fastback utility knife with the bit driver on the back, and if they don't, they probably should. So what new tool could possibly maybe scratch that itch of having a utility knife with extra capability and be able to have some bragging rights to their buddies? Say, hey, check this out when they roll up to the job site. Well, the Gerber Prybrid, and especially the new one, has really scratched that itch for me in the past couple years. I think I paid under 20 bucks for this. They have a couple different color combinations. I like the high vis orange, but you get replaceable blades for your utility knives. You don't need a tool like a hex head or something like that to replace the blades, like so many of these other ones that are popping up recently. Drives me nuts. That's my dad coming out for sure. And then you get on top of that a wire stripper or cordage cutter. You're gonna get a wire stripper down here, a bottle cap opener, a nail puller, a scraper, pry bar. I mean, like 50 different options. Okay, let's say like 5, but all sorts of different capabilities because this is all steel in here with a G10 handle. And then the original model didn't have this. They now have a pocket clip, and you can actually carry this right or left. It just kind of changes the orientation, but you slide that sucker open, kind of old school, like those old Stanley ones. But I got full grip and real estate, and I've used this on more than one occasion where the Milwaukee Fastback doesn't give me quite the leverage or the scraping power that this little tool can give me. Now, next to a pair of white New Balance, these boots are probably one of the most popular options for dads the world over, with good reason. These are the Danner 600 mountain boots. And I was a little skeptical at first, throwing down a little over $200 on a set of boots. I wasn't going to be able to brag to my buddies that I got this for a steal. But where it may lose some points on being able to brag about how cheap I got it for, it makes up for in its classic no-brainer style with a few different color combinations. I can wear these things with just about every color and style pair of pants I own. I can wear them to a nice dinner out with Mrs. GT, or hit the trail and put in miles and miles. I think a lot of us dads get kind of irritated with the engineered obsolescence of a lot of recent gear that comes out, and vehicles, and just so many things. These are recraftable. If there's ever an issue, I can send these back to Danner and they can fix them and keep them going for a lot longer. And a good way to put it is kind of like a sport utility vehicle. Think of a GMT 800 Suburban, right? I mean, there are way more technical, like mountaineering boots. They're gonna be better for those scenarios. There are some better ultralight, high speed, hiking trail boots. But these, I can go hiking, I can go camping with, I can go to the range, I can go out to dinner, and I can just do so many things with this pair of boots. They're capable, durable, and they just look good, and I don't have to think about my wardrobe when I put these on. And they don't push into the grandpa level that those white New Balance tend to be. Now, I believe one of the things that has made Leatherman a household name across the world, honestly, if you're into tools and gear at all, is that they give you multiple functionalities out of the same tool, and they're built well. They actually work, right? Well, sometimes we try to reinvent the wheel, and there are always new steels coming out, and they're doing like the Wave Alpha and Magna Cut and all these different things, and they're cool. Don't get me wrong, I'm a gear nut, I love it. But at the end of the day, it's sometimes better just to follow the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. And if you were to ask me what multi-tool every dad should own, it would be the Leatherman Wave. And it's just regular format. Yeah, I mean, it's cool to have G10 and super spicy Magna Cut and some different features. There's nothing wrong with this. But at the end of the day, just the straightforward capability that the Leatherman Wave brings to the table is really unmatched. It's not so big like the Surge that you're not going to carry it as often. It's not so small as some of the other models that are out there that make it less capable. It really threads the needle, I believe, well, and still gives you all the capability to, cut stuff if you need to. Use it as a one-tool option. You can ditch that pocket knife altogether if you want. Nowadays, from my understanding, I haven't bought one recently, but you got to get a pocket clip extra, you got to get a sheath extra. Some extra kind of wonkiness going on there, but at the end of the day, I actually just looked. These things are like going for about 105. I think I paid 90 for my Wave Plus back in the day. This tool empowers every dad to get so many little problems solved and to have it on their person, on their dad bat belt, utility belt, at a moment's notice. It's a no-brainer for any dad. And if you were to ask me, between all the ones, there's some great ones. Like, I love my Super Tool 300. There's the what's it called, the P series that they've kind of gotten away from. The Arc's got an, all of it. There's all awesome, but one and done. I mean, probably for most dads, the Wave just makes sense. But leave a comment and let me know what your favorite multi-tool is that you carry the most to pull out your dad card. Now, us dads care way more about functionality than we do about style. And this piece of gear sometimes may not always be like the coolest looking, but it is so functional. and it is the 511 SKYWEIGHT chest pack series of packs. These things can be got with the really slim variants, so ideal for carrying either like a sidearm and maybe a few other things along, you know, basic essentials, all the way up to the Survival Plus, which I recently talked about and reviewed here at the channel, that you can build a full fishing kit, survival kit, you know, a tool kit, whatever you do in life. These things work for mountain biking, they work for snowboarding and skiing, possible water sport applications, sportsmen, hiking, backpacking, you name it. They give you the ability to carry essential pieces of gear right in front of you. You're not hunting in the pack, asking the kids to dig it out for you. You have what you need right there. And they are transitioning to some newer kind of just designs. The materials are excellent, but some newer design features. You can score some of the originals for really inexpensive costs, and those more updated, more laid out, I guess, models, you can still score for easily under $100, making them some of the more inexpensive options. But from my experience now, having had them for a couple of years and tested much more premium, higher end models as well throughout the years, these can easily hold their own, and you can add them onto hip belts and wear them as hip belts, crossbody bags. They're just so versatile and just give you a lot of capability to carry those essentials to fix problems, take care of scenarios that you want to do as a dad, and you're not fumbling around with, say, a fanny pack per se, and it gives you a lot more capability, in my opinion, and is just an essential piece of gear I think every dad would appreciate. Now, while other dads are fumbling through their Torx or Allen keys like this and trying to get the right size and screw around with that, you can be the dad that comes in for the win with this little bad boy right here. This is a Wiha bit selector. I have maintained all of my smaller tools ad nauseum, I guess would be a right word, at this point with this little system. Now you can get it for Torx, you can get it for Allen, and it comes in this little box, and as you just saw, you slide it out, you got several different smaller sizes right there, but the best part, it comes with its own little driver and housing so that you can pop this little sucker in right here like this, close the door, you got your hole right there, you pop that in, and you're ready to rock and roll. Now, as a dad, my judgmental squint comes out anytime I see somebody busting out their phone for illumination. That's fine in a pinch, but let's get real. If you're gonna get work done, you need something better than just the light on your smartphone. And that's where something like this would come into play. What's cool about this, and what really checks that box as a dad, is the multi-fuel, bi-fuel capability of the Nightcore, I always screwed up, MT1A Pro. This thing comes with an integrated battery that is USB-C rechargeable, but on the fly, you can put a AA in this thing and keep on trekking. With 800 lumens, compact, you can put the clip on the bill of your hat so you can have hands-free illumination. We all know how important that can be, especially when you're having to change out a tire, work under the hood of a vehicle, do those type of things. Doing the dad stuff, right? Now, I test out a lot of fixed blades here at the channel, and you can easily go down the rabbit hole of ultra premium, budget, and everywhere in between, and unpacking that is a major part of what I do here week in, week out. But when you really consider, like, what does a dad really need? What do they look for? They want probably to find the tool that will work best for them in their scenarios, and your situation as a dad might be slightly different than what I need and look for out of a fixed blade. So what could give some of that, like, and just kind of classic, simple, straightforward, a brand recognition that people know, and it's a category that just totally makes sense. And it's the Alpha series from Buck Knives, right? Buck Knives, an American icon at this point with their lifetime warranty, USA made on these models. Now, there've been several different variants over the years, but I think this one actually, for value to performance to actually some little tweaks that have made it better than even like the MagnaCut versions and things that are out there, is this entire series. I think they call it the Backcountry, or they call it the Scout. I'm not sure what variant, because they have like the Hunter, they have the so it's the 420 Cerakote versions, and you can get the mini one, the 662. Very good for like a pocket carry or compact, put on a chest rig, do something like that. And then you have kind of the Goldilocks middle 664. This thing is just under 4 inches and really gives you the grip that you need. Very broad. That hollow grind on all three is going to be super slicey. 420 HC, they've been using it forever. And then you got the 663, which is kind of like the compact camp knife. Big boy here on campus. All three are coming with Kydex sheaths, belt attachments. I mean, a really good setup. And because of the Cerakote and the rubberized handle scales, these feel a little more comfortable, especially around the neck, because it's more rounded and just organic. And maybe organic isn't even really the right word, just comfortable to the touch. These things all are right around $100. So you're getting all of those things. And it's funny, I was talking to definitely a dad recently and running in a lot of different options for him to consider. I was running like $300 blades, $50 blades, and these as options for what he was looking for. And as soon as he saw these and kind of understood what they were doing, he was like, oh, I want those bucks. Like, that's the one. And so I would say for a dad, these would be great options as gifts, but also just, you know, to use and get the work and task done, regardless if you're a sportsman or you're a hiker or you're just looking for basic utility around the property. Now, when it comes to the day-to-day, moms are known for keeping in touch with the kids, you know, telling dad how things are going, and, oh, Jenny's seeing this guy, and, you know, Johnny got a new car, blah, 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 and dad's like, okay. But when you're out actually having fun and enjoying life, dads are the ones that care about the communication, knowing where everyone is and making sure they can communicate if there's a problem. Walkie Talkies. There's lots of great ones out there. I've been using these now since me and my family went full-time RVing 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I've been using some variant of Walkie Talkies. And the reason for that is the original 2-watt is excellent because it uses a removable, rechargeable lithium-ion battery, so it's way longer, better lifespans than just those AA little cheap things you're going to find off the rack, you know, at a basic sporting goods store or Walmart. But on top of that, you're going to get some other capabilities of like water resistance, things like that that you don't always get. And then if you get the 5-watt, which is what I have right here, not only do you have way better power to communicate further distances than the basic 2 watts that you're going to find, but that kind of double, 2 for 1, right? Dads love watching the Weather Channel, don't we? Knowing what the weather's going to bring.
The relative humidity, 14%. The wind was northeast at 7 miles an hour.
We actually just got back from Wyoming and we had massive wind warnings and we needed to know when like the wind was going to stop. It actually broke one of our tent rods and stuff like that. But having that extra NOAA capability through those 5 watts are freaking awesome. So you won't be bragging about the cost that you saved. I think they do have a deal going on, or maybe I can't even remember. Maybe I have a promo code. I'll try to link it where I can in the description box below. Everything we're talking about is linked below for you guys to check out through the affiliate links that I have. But these things, they're pretty awesome, and their batteries will last me 7 to 10 days, you know, as long as I turn them off in the evening and stuff, and depending on your usage. But they'll last me a good week, and I can keep track of the kids, communicate with people across campgrounds, and be able to park vehicles, trailers, that type of stuff easier, and just makes communication on the adventures that much easier. Well, guys, as we wrap it up, I just want to say thank you to every one of you who is a father, who is in your child's life, who is doing your best to train, to raise up, to teach them the right way that they should go so that when they are old, they will not depart from it. Hats off to you. You are amazing. That is a hard job, and your hard work will absolutely pay off. We need more fathers in this world raising up men and women who respect themselves, respect others, and are a benefit to society. So don't give up. Hats off to you. And I hope that this video has just been kind of fun, entertaining, and maybe giving you some ideas to gift either your dad or that father figure. Maybe you didn't have a dad, but you had someone who was that father figure in your life, you know, and you want to bless them. with this Father's Day coming up, or maybe your loved ones are like, hey Dad, we love you, you know, we just want to show our appreciation, you know, maybe these items have given you some ideas that you could send their way. All those things again will be linked below. And if you're new, I do invite you to subscribe, join, because every single week I'm putting up new content, giving you guys breakdowns on gear and equipment, and hopefully showing you what things can and can't do, but also entertaining you along the way and just having fun. So appreciate you guys. Happy Father's Day, and until next time, always remember to stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.